Power meter training for cyclists. Let's go! Power meters have become an essential tool for cyclists to start training more efficiently, but a lot of people doesn't know how to use them. In this video, we will cover everything you need to know to get started with the power meter, including how to set up your power meter, how to interpret your power data, and how to use that data to structure your training. We will also provide examples of power-based workouts and drills that will help you become a stronger and more efficient cyclist. There are a couple of things that you need first: a bike computer, a bike, and the power meter, of course. The first step in power meter training is to set up your power meter correctly. This includes installing the power meter on your bike, calibrating it, and pairing it with your cycling computer. It's important to make sure your power meter is properly calibrated before each ride, as this will ensure that the data you collect is accurate. Before every ride, you need to calibrate the power meter. On every bike computer, there's just a button that you need to push, wait for a couple of seconds, and that's pretty much it. It's not something difficult. Now power meters have become more efficient, so you don't need to do it like before every ride, but it's useful. Try to calculate your FTP every month or every month and a half, and you need to be really rested for that. What I mean by that is, don't go on heavy rides the day before or 2 days before. You need to be like really pumped to get on a bike. A couple of easy rides. The best way to perform this is, maybe if you have a 3-week block, try to, on the 4th week that you have like an easy ride, try it on the 5th day, try to do another ride that you can perform. Probably I would go with the 10-minute, would be my first one to try, and then on the next day I would try the 1-minute average maximum and then the 3-minute average maximum. Yeah, it depends. You need some trial and error with this, but yeah, that's what I would do. I wouldn't do them on the same training ride, all of them. So 10-minute is one ride, and then 1 minute and 3 minutes it's another ride. That's how I would do it. And yeah, when you get back home, just look at your average, and that's pretty much it. Here's how I would have my bike computer set up. If you have any questions regarding the settings, just feel free to comment below and I will answer those as well. Once you have your power meter set up, it's time to start collecting data. The most important data to pay attention to is your average power, which is the average amount of power you're producing over a given period of time. You should also pay attention to your max power, which is the highest amount of power you have produced during a ride, and your normalized power, which is an estimate of the power you would have produced if you had ridden at constant power output. By analyzing your power data, you can identify areas where you need to improve and make adjustment to your training. Just a quick tip: try to train for the event that you're preparing for. Like if you just want to improve, you can do like some normal power meter interval training exercises. If you're a long distance cyclist, you can do a lot of exercises just in zone 2 and some in zone 3, and that's pretty much it. But if you're preparing for an event, then you will need to do a lot of interval training, but first you need a really good base. Power meter data can be used to structure your training in a more effective way. For example, you can use power data to set specific power-based workout goals, such as increasing your average power over a certain time period. You can also use power data to track your progress and adjust your training as needed. Power-based intervals are a great way to improve your cycling performance. The intervals should be tailored to your current level and goals. We already made interval training for cyclists, so you can see that in the link above. This one is more specific to power meter training. The first thing that you need to do is when you set up the power meter, when you know everything is working correctly, you need to know what's your FTP, functional threshold power. You can calculate that. There's a lot of methods that are on the internet, but what it worked for me was try to simulate the event that you have and try to simulate your power output to that event. So you don't need to calculate your FTP over 30 minutes because if all of the climbs are only like 5 to 8 minutes long, it doesn't matter those 30 minutes. So at least in my case, I took a different approach. Maybe that's incorrect, but it really worked for me because I was a lot heavier than all of the other cyclists were, and I was pretty good at those events, so it worked for me. So try to simulate that event that you're trying to compete in, try to make the best results as possible. So what I did, I only measured my 1 minute maximum power output, and then I did it for 5 minutes, so 5-minute maximum output and 10 minutes maximum output. Then it averaged my FTP, and that was pretty much it. I tried to train with those settings or with those outputs. There's a lot of calculators that can measure your FTP based on 3 averages. That's what I did, and the results were pretty good. So in my case, I won't go to, let's say, 20 minutes because I don't do climbs that are longer than 10-15 minutes, so the 20 minutes one is just it doesn't, maybe it could work for me, but I never tried it because I got really good results on the max 10-minute effort. So you can hate me in the comments if you want. Here are a few examples of power-based workouts and drills that you can try. 30-second all-out sprints. Start with a 30 to 45-minute warm-up, then perform a 30-second all-out sprint followed by a 30-second rest. Repeat this for a total of 8 to 10 sprints. Sweet spot for intervals. Start with 45-minute warm-up, then perform 8 to 10 intervals of 3 to 5 minutes at your sweet power spot, which is around 88 to 93% of your functional threshold power. Take a 3-minute rest between intervals. Progressive endurance ride. Start with a 5-minute warm-up, then gradually increase your power output every 10 minutes for the duration of the ride. Hill repeats. Find a hill that takes around 2 to 3 minutes to climb and perform 4 to 6 repeats at your threshold power. Take a 4 to 5 minute recovery between repeats. Power meter training is a powerful tool that can help you become a stronger and more efficient cyclist. By setting up your power meter correctly, interpreting your power data and structuring your training based on that data, you can unlock your true potential on the bike. Remember to always consult with your coach and trainer before starting any training program. Thanks for watching and happy training!